Hey everyone, welcome back to 197 Concepts. So in this video, I will be discussing with you the basic program of MPMC, okay, where where we will be find or we will be trying to display a string. Okay, so the very first thing that you have to know is what is a string. So string. So this in the short form is written as str, and it is just collection of characters. Collection of characters. Okay, so now you know what is a character. So character is just a single word, like for 197 concepts. So con, so c is a separate character, o is a separate character, n is a separate character. When you combine all these characters, you get a string. So today what we are going to do is we are going to discuss a program where we will be using the DOSBox. Okay, so we will be using DOSBox to operate or to display the uh, given string. Okay, so that string could be anything. That string could be anything. So without any delay, let us try to understand the program. So I've already pasted here. Okay, yeah. So the very initial line is you have to assume CS colon code and DS colon data. Okay. Yeah, here we are using the data segment. That's why this is the addition of new matter, the new content where you're familiar with this. In the previous programs, we have discussed CS colon code. So this is the initialization of the code segment, and this is the initialization of the data segment. So all the data, all the characters, all the numbers, whatever you are going to do will be stored in the data segment. That user defined data, you can call this as user defined data. Okay, you can call it this way. So this is user defined data, and this one is the code, the set of instructions that we are going to execute. Okay, and to start this, to mark up this data segment, we are just going to type this data segment line. It's simple as that. And similar code segment, you are familiar with this. This is the starting of the code. This informs that this is the starting of the code program. Okay, so that, yeah. Then next, what we are going to do is we are going to define a variable or a character, and we are going to assign it a memory. So db means define byte. Define byte. Okay, so we have another definition which is called as define word. So define word, this is going to store in 16 bits. Okay, whereas byte is going to store only 8 bits. Okay, that's the difference between those two. Here we are going to just assign an 8-bit of information. So yeah, that is HAI, high. And yeah, don't forget this dollar symbol. Be careful, whatever string you are giving has to be written within the quotations. Okay, within these two quotations, and this dollar symbol is must. So whenever you are ending a string, this dollar symbol is must. It is not restricted to this dollar symbol. You can keep any special character like at the rate, or what we have like hash and all. So generally we use dollar symbol. You can keep any special character. Why? You will get to know in the further programs. Okay, now when we are comparing the string, or when you are finding the string, you will be using this special character. So you are not using it here, but a general rule of thumb is when you are having a dollar, when when a computer or when the processor is calculating h, a, and I in a single way, when he is trying to display, so he what the computer is going to do is he's going to read the character h, and he's going to display it. Okay, so this is the display. So first he's taking h from the data from the memory segment, and he's sending that to display. Then he's sending a, then he's sending I. And when how the system knows to stop is with the help of this special character, that is the dollar symbol. Okay, so that's the main part, and finally we are ending the data segment. So that's the only initialization that we are going to do in data segment. We are just ending it. Now when you come for the code segment, we are starting the program and we are moving the data. That means this part, let me erase this all. Eraser. Yeah, just delete it. Okay, so when you come to the very first line, what you are doing is this data, this line, this complete line, this has to be moved into the DS. So initially it is not stored in data segment of 8086, it will be stored somewhere else. Now we need to move this data into data segment. What we are going to do is we cannot move this directly into the data segment. Of course we can do that, but there will be an error. In order to prevent that error, the first of all what we are doing this, we are moving this data into the accumulator register, and then from accumulator register to we are going for data segment. Okay, so that's the idea. So that's what we are doing. We are moving data into the accumulator register. That means data means this high character, high string will be moved into the AX register, and then from AX register we are moving into the data segment. And this is a special command. Okay, this is special command. What we are going to do is AX is split into two parts, right? That is AH and AL. So forget this AL. What we are doing is we are going to store 09H. Okay, we are going to store 09H into the 09 hexadecimal number into the higher byte of accumulator register. Later I will tell you, in the next command I will tell you why we are storing this. Okay, now when you execute, the next line is LEA DX comma K. Okay, so this DX is extra register of 8086, and K is our string that we want to display. Okay, so that's the string that we want to display. Now what is LEA? LEA is load effective address. Okay, so LEA is load effective address. So what this is going to do is, see, this is my K register. Okay, this is my K register, and its starting address is, let us say, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, but at the 0th location, what I have is H, and then I have A, then I have I, and then I have doll. So in this way, my data is going to be stored. Whenever I execute this load effective address, what this is going to do is this is going to load this 0 address into the DX register. Okay, it is going to store the first address. So the address of the first character. What character? The character that is stored in the K register. So LEA is going to fetch the first character address of my string, and it is going to load that in my specified register. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do int 21H. So int 21H, yeah, I need to clear this. Int 21H is a special type of interrupt, okay, that is used to execute only strings. So we are having multiple types of interrupts, like int 03H that will give you a breakpoint interrupt. We have 01H that will give you trap interrupt. Then we are having some other interrupts. So out of those interrupts, this int 21H is a predefined interrupt which is used only for strings. Okay, like for reading the string, writing the string, waiting for a string to be given by the user and all. Okay, you can search those on the online, and whenever you are executing this int 21H, when you are going to execute this type of interrupt, when immediately my processor is going to look into the AX register, that too only in AH, okay, higher byte of accumulator register. Now what I have in the higher byte of accumulator register is 09H, right, from this line, from this line. So what it is going to do is whenever the program, the processor is encountering this line in 21H, this will go to the AX register, and this will read the 09H from the higher byte of accumulator register. When you see this in 21H table, so the processor, what it's going to do is it's going to activate the int 21H interrupt table, and it is going at the location of 09H. Okay, So the vector interrupt vector table, you might be familiar with that. So 1 2 3 4 5 and so on, 0 1 2 3 5 and so on up to number 9. So in this number 9, what it tells is, it tells that display the string. Okay, display string. That means fetch data from K register and give it onto a display, and give it on a display. So that is what the int 09h is. Okay, and finally after completing that, we have the general breakpoint interrupt and the code ends and the end start. Okay, so that's a basic program. I hope you have understood it. Now let us execute this. Okay, so first of all I need to copy this. I've copied it, and now what I have to do is I have to go for DOSBox. So yeah, clear screen now. mount C, right? Now C, and now what I have to do is 8086, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to edit, and I'm going to copy the code that I have copied. I'm going to paste the code that I have copied. Now I'm saving this one as disp.asm. Okay, now that's the code. Let us check for the errors. So MASM disp.asm, so no errors. Then next, uh, what is it, linking, link disp dot obj. Okay, so no linking errors. Then finally what I'm going to do is AF debug uh, this dot exe, right? When you come here and when you try to execute, see 1831, I have the data, and AX will be updated to 1831. So there's nowhere, if you observe at the right of your screen, at the right side of your screen and bottom side, you have the data segment. So I've executed the first step, and AX is updated with 1831. Okay, so now AX is holding 1831. Observe the DS in the second and the first segments. Okay, that is the right to your screen and bottom of the screen. There are some numbers CD 20, 21, 18, and so on. When I immediately execute this line, the data segment is going to be updated in both the sides. Okay, so it's getting some 48, 61, 69, 24, and all triple zero, all zeros. Okay, if you see at the bottom of your screen and bottom right of the screen, you will be having the character that I have typed, or the character that I want to display. Sorry, the string. Okay, it's high and dollar symbol. Okay, now observe the AX register. It's 1831. It's going to be 0931. Now I'm loading the effective address. I'm going to load the effective address into DX, which is of course 00. That is the starting point. That is the starting address of my string. Now when I do int 21h, nothing is going to happen here, right? So nothing's going to happen. Simple. After 2 to 3 times repetition, the program is going to end, because this is used for debugging. This screen is used for debugging. If there are some logical errors, for that purpose it is used. When you want to see the output, what you have to do is you have to come back to this screen and you have to type the file name. Okay, so this dot asm, I believe. Okay, so is it exe? Yeah, you have to type this dot exe. Only then you will get your character. So here you are displaying the string. Okay, that was not the displaying of the string, and this is the displaying of the string. So whenever you want to execute, you want to get the output, you want to get a complete output on a display of your 8086, you have to come back to your black screen, this black screen, and then you have to type your program name in with its extensible, sorry, executable extension. Okay, now only then you will get the output. That green screen was just the debugging of the program. Okay, so that's the difference there. uh, we will come to it later in the next programs also. Finally, you can just exit from here. Okay, I believe we have to force shut down this. Okay, so hope you have understood the program. That's it in for this video. Thank you.